channel. My name is Jazzy RN. I have been a remote utilization review nurse for over 9 years, and I've worked for 3 different companies, and the goal of my channel is to help nurses pivot from the bedside to remote work. And today's video is about 2 different companies that is hiring for nurses. This is actually away from the bedside. One company is remote and one allows you to travel. So this is good for travel nurses who want to still be away from the bedside but want to still travel. So this first job is with Johns Hopkins Health Plans. Now right here it says on-site, which I found to be strange because whenever I filter jobs on LinkedIn, I make sure I always filter using the filters for remote. So right here it says on-site. Then when you scroll down, it says what awaits you. Work-life balance. This is a remote role. Candidates in the following approved states will be given priority. That's Maryland, DC, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and Florida. And as always, whenever I'm looking at jobs, I look at the qualifications. And in this case, it says what you'll bring. So the most important thing is always the RN license. They want you to be licensed in Maryland or a compact state. They want you to have 3 years or more experience as an acute care RN. That's at the bedside. Just FYI, I only have 2 years bedside experience. They want you to already have 1 year experience in managed care. Utilization review is required. They want you to have understanding and expertise and knowledge utilizing various criteria sets, and this is especially for interqual. So this company, Johns Hopkins Health Plan, uses interqual, and there are 2 different criteria sets that are used. There's interqual and MCG. Now this next bullet point I want to go over, ability to negotiate and resolve conflicts with external customers. As a utilization review nurse or appeals nurse, whenever you have conflicts with external customers, that's because they're calling about the denial. And there's a term I always use regarding a denial. I first want to mention that only doctors can deny authorizations. Nurses cannot deny anything. We approve it using interqual or MCG. If we cannot approve it, then we send it to the doctor, and the doctor makes a decision, and we just keep on going to the next authorization, doing the exact same thing. So the term I use regarding these conflicts, regarding denials, is the chain of command. Once it goes up the chain of command, and the doctor denies authorization for medical necessity, I, as a nurse, or any nurse in general, cannot go above the doctor's head and reverse the doctor's denial because you don't have an MD license. You're not an MD. You don't have a doctor in your name. You're not a doctor. So basically, the word chain of command is something I use regarding the denial process. Now, there is one instance where a nurse can reverse a denial. Is this, let's say that the hospital does not send clinicals for the inpatient state. So I don't have anything to review. I send to the doctor. The doctor has nothing to review as well. So the doctor decides to deny it. Of course, that always happens. Now, the hospital, they get alert that, hey, this authorization was denied. It was due to no clinicals. So now they send clinicals. Now, some insurance companies allow the nurse to reverse the doctor's denial in that case only because there are no clinicals sent originally. So now you receive clinicals, and as you can see, this member does meet medical necessity using interqual or MCG. And as a nurse, you can reverse the doctor's denial and approve it because there are no clinicals sent initially. But if clinicals are sent and then the doctor denies it, that's above your head. That's a chain of command. So always use that word as whenever you're dealing with the discrepancies for denial, is chain of command. Now here's a job that is posted on Johns Hopkins Medicine website, and if you scroll down here, it will say remote job, work from home. This is the RN utilization review managed care position. It says it is a nursing category. It's day shift. It's full time. And if you scroll down some more, you'll see in bold, this is a remote role. Candidates in the following approved states will be given priority, so on and so forth. So just make sure that whenever you are reviewing these job postings, that's the first thing you look at is the qualifications, and make sure you meet your qualifications. And the second thing is, if you are lucky enough to get an interview, that you look at the responsibilities or tasks to ask the questions based on those tasks and responsibilities in the interview process. I also want to mention in the link in the description, in the description box below, there's a link to Cure to Bedside Burnout. This is a target companies of over 70 or 80 companies I found online. These are all through LinkedIn, or you'll go straight to the company's website. And these companies hire nurses to work remotely. Now, most of these companies are based in the United States, and they hire nurses in the United States, but there are some companies that hire nurses in the Philippines to work for American companies. And these nurses, most likely these nurses have a license in the United States. There are some companies that are in the Philippines that will help nurses in the Philippines pass the NCLEX or take the NCLEX and then obtain a nurse license in the United States. I have no idea how that works. I didn't go down a rabbit hole on that, but it is a possibility. I have seen some posts on Reddit as well regarding nurses in the Philippines with a license in the United States. I have no idea how they select what state to have a license in. That's basically, I haven't gone down that rabbit hole. I do want to mention, if you scroll down towards the bottom, you will see a link to my Udemy course, and it is called Remote Nursing: The Cure to Bedside Burnout. And this course not only includes information about how to use InterQual and MCG, it also includes information regarding templates. It also includes information regarding the interview process, what question you should ask during the interview, the best questions to ask. If you scroll down some more, this is a list of office essentials. These are not mandatory, but most of these are actually optional. And these are essentials you can purchase to help you with your remote nurse journey. And at the very bottom of this page, you'll see FAQs, over 20 questions about working remotely. So one question I hear a lot about nurses who want to work remotely is, do I need a compact license? And sometimes yes. Most major companies, insurance companies, want you to have a compact license, but let's say if that insurance company is hiring in the state of Illinois, which is currently, as of 2026, month of February, Illinois is not a compact state. They will hire you as a nurse for utilization review or remote nurse to work on authorizations for the state of Illinois, because they already know this state does not have a compact state. It's not a compact state, so you can't obtain it unless you can't obtain the compact state license unless you live in the compact state. Next, I want to go to the company. This is called B-Bron. I actually used to work for this company back when I lived in Missouri. This was a couple of years before I became a nurse. And this company, they actually create medical devices, as well as, I remember seeing in the warehouse, they had these jars, and the jars had bones in them. And I believe these were cadaver bones, and during some surgeries, doctors were able to use these bones in surgery. But anyway, B-Bron, if you are a nurse who wants to get away from the bedside, but you still want to travel, so let's say you're a travel nurse, this is for you. Now, they have a position for clinical educator. They have a full-time and part-time position. They're hiring in the state of Pennsylvania, Florida, and California. This functional area is sales. It's a working model of remote. It's 5 days a week, 8-hour days. Now we're going to go to what you will bring, or the duties of the job that I want to show you. Okay, so here's what's required. Associate's degree is required. They want you to have 2 years clinical experience at the bedside. They want you to have applicable industry professional certification preferred, valid RN license, regular and predictable on-site attendance. So they don't say exactly on-site where, but this is, I guess they'll let you know in advance. They say it's also frequent business travel across the U.S. is required. So if you're a travel nurse and you like traveling, but you don't want to be at the bedside anymore, this is an option for you. Also, they want you to have a valid driver's license and passport. Now, the passport part, maybe they may include international travel for you there. That's a question to ask during the interview process. And the ability to work non-standard schedule as needed, which is normal for bedside nurses, because working 12 hours a day is very non-standard. Working overnight is very non-standard. And as always, the second thing you want to look at is the job description. So this requires knowledge of technical field and areas of specialization, exercises general application of principles, theories, and concepts. So this is kind of out of my league, that follows established procedures and guidelines. You actually want to research more about B-Bron regarding what this all entails, because you don't want to go into the interview process not knowing what this job is about and what you'll be doing. And there's one more position I want to show you. It says clinical educator PT, and I'm thinking that means part-time. But then here in the shift, it says 3 to 4, and it's 12-hour days. So if you were to get an interview with this job, I would actually ask, what do they mean by 3 to 4 by 12? Because the other job This one says 5 by 8, so that means you work 5 days a week, 8-hour days. So does that mean that you work 3 to 4 days a week, 12-hour days? Because that's not part-time, that's full-time and overtime. And it has exact same qualifications or requirements, associate's degree, 2 years bedside experience, so on and so forth. And just make sure that whenever you are applying to these jobs that you focus on the 3 most important facets of your resume, what you did, why it's important, and how it applies to the job that you want.